I asked a simple question at breakfast, the kind any sibling would ask. I'd heard wedding plans were moving fast. So I looked at my mom and said, "When's the date?" She didn't even look up from her phone. My dad kept sipping his tea like I wasn't there. My sister smirked, twisting her engagement ring with that same attitude she always saved for me. Then my mom finally answered, slow and dismissive, as if she was doing me a favor. "Don't worry about it. It's taken care of. Taken care of." That was their way of saying I wasn't needed, I wasn't included, I wasn't even important enough to tell. I laughed at first, thinking maybe they were joking. We grew up in the same house, shared every boring family event together. Yet suddenly I was treated like some stranger who'd wandered in uninvited. So I asked again, more direct this time. "When is the wedding?" My dad set his cup down and sighed. "You don't have to come. It'll just complicate things." Complicate what? I wasn't fighting with anyone. I hadn't caused any drama. Yet somehow I was the problem. My sister didn't bother hiding her satisfaction. She shrugged and said it was better if I stayed out of the way, fewer pictures to edit, fewer explanations to give. As if my presence was a burden, they now felt brave enough to say out loud. The room suddenly felt smaller, like all the years of being the afterthought were finally being said clearly in words instead of hints. They didn't want me there. They wanted a perfect wedding, and in their version of perfect, I apparently didn't belong. But I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just stood up, nodded once, and walked out. If they thought excluding me would keep their day smooth and shiny, they had no idea what kind of chapter they had just opened. Because when a family decides you're worthless, the next move becomes entirely your own, and I knew exactly what I was going to do next. When I walked out of that kitchen, I expected the usual cycle to kick in, the guilt texts, the half apologies, the fake concern. But this time nothing came. Hours passed, a whole day, not a single message from any of them. It was their silence that confirmed everything more clearly than their words ever could. They hadn't slipped up, they hadn't forgotten, they hadn't been confused. They had intentionally planned my sister's wedding without me. They wanted it that way. So I did what I always do when life corners me. I went quiet and started paying attention. I checked my sister's social media, and suddenly everything made sense. Hidden posts, locked stories, selective tags. She'd crafted an entire narrative where I didn't exist. Dress fittings, venue tours, brunches with bridesmaids, all smiling, all perfect, all shared with everyone except me. I wasn't even a footnote in my own family. That sting didn't fade. It sharpened. A week later, by pure accident, I overheard my aunt on the phone with someone. The wedding wasn't upcoming. It wasn't soon. It was this Friday, 3 days away. They'd been planning to slip away early, stay at a hotel, get everything done, and return with the story neatly wrapped. Oh, it was small. Oh, it happened suddenly. Oh, we didn't want to bother you. They weren't excluding me by mistake. They were rewriting the family story without me. But here's what they didn't know. While they spent years treating me like background noise, I'd been building my own life quietly. I had a stable job, a growing savings account, a network of people who actually enjoyed my presence, and, most importantly, a spine they underestimated. So instead of moping, I got organized. First, I reached out to the one relative who never played politics, my grandmother. She told me everything: the venue, the exact time, the guest list, the details my parents thought they were hiding. When she realized I hadn't been invited, she got quiet, angry quiet. That told me I wasn't crazy for feeling hurt. Next, I requested time off from work. My boss approved it instantly, joking that I deserved a break. If he knew the reason, he might have given me a bonus too. Then I booked something my family never expected: a full styling session, professional makeup, hair, and a custom outfit that made me look like I'd stepped out of a magazine. If they didn't want me in their wedding pictures, fate was about to give them a new problem. I was going to look unforgettable, but showing up looking good wasn't enough. I wanted to show up with purpose. For years, they'd told me I was the average one, the quiet one, the one who wouldn't accomplish much. Meanwhile, my sister was the golden child with the spotlight. But recently, I'd been invited to speak at a regional event, something I hadn't shared with them. It was a panel with executives, entrepreneurs, and creators. Not a small deal. And I'd been planning to announce it online the following week. Now, the timing was perfect. The day before the wedding, I posted a teaser on my social accounts. Nothing dramatic, just a hint. A picture of my badge. A quote about unexpected opportunities. A mention that big news was coming Friday. I didn't tag anyone, but I didn't need to. My family stalked my page like they breathed air. Within 20 minutes, my sister messaged me. "What's that?" Within another 10 minutes, my mom texted, "When did this happen?" I didn't reply. For the first time in my life, they needed information from me, not the other way around. Their sudden interest only confirmed what I suspected. They didn't ignore me because I failed. They ignored me because they assumed I always would. Friday arrived fast. While they were getting ready for the wedding they refused to involve me in, I walked into the event hall I'd been invited to speak at. Applause greeted me. Real applause, not the forced clapping my family did at birthdays. Cameras flashed. People shook my hand. For 2 hours, I spoke confidently in front of a crowd that valued my voice more than my family ever had. When I left the building, adrenaline still buzzing, I checked my phone. My parents and sister had all texted again, asking what I was doing, where I was, what this event was. They thought I'd be home sulking. Instead, I was halfway to their wedding venue, stepping into a rideshare with a folder of achievements I'd kept private for years. They planned a perfect day. Without me, they had no idea how badly their plan was about to fall apart. The truth settled in slowly, almost like the room itself went quiet to make space for it. I saw their guilt surface only when they realized I wasn't begging for a seat at the wedding, a photo, or a moment of acknowledgement. I was done. That shift unsettled them more than any argument ever could. My mother tried softening her voice, suddenly remembering I was her daughter. My father hovered near the doorway, unsure whether to apologize or defend himself. None of it mattered anymore. I had already stepped out of the role they kept forcing on me. I left the house feeling lighter than I expected. Losing a family you never truly had didn't hurt. It clarified everything. Months passed before I heard from any of them. Then the wedding photos appeared online. My sister looked radiant, wrapped in flowers and attention, but the comments beneath the posts were the real surprise. People asking where I was, family friends confused by my absence, a few even calling out how empty the group photos looked. They had spent years convincing me I didn't matter, yet the world noticed my absence before they did. That was the moment they finally reached out, trying to explain, trying to patch the hole they created. But I learned something priceless. Being excluded was a gift. It showed me exactly where not to return,